There comes a time when you must stop watching others rise and start building your own empire. That time is now. Every second that passes is a decision. You are either investing in your growth or surrendering to decay. The difference between the great and the forgotten is not luck. It's how they spend their time. While most waste hours scrolling, complaining, and wishing, a few use those same hours to learn, train, and sharpen their minds. You cannot improve your life until you improve yourself. The outside world is only a mirror reflecting the strength or weakness within. The world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you've earned. And you earn it through effort, discipline, and relentless self-education. Stop searching for shortcuts. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is a spark. It fades. Discipline is the fire that never dies. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to start. When others sleep, you study. When others talk, you act. When others give up, you rise. That's how transformation happens. Not overnight, but hour by hour, choice by choice. The secret is simple. Spend your time becoming, not complaining. Feed your mind with wisdom. Train your body with consistency. Build habits that turn your weaknesses into weapons. Refuse to be average. Remember, your future self is watching you right now, hoping you don't quit. Every minute you waste today, you steal from the life you could have lived tomorrow. So use your time like a warrior uses his sword, with precision, purpose, and power. Because when you master time, you master everything. With self-improvement is a full-time job. Self-improvement is not a weekend hobby. It's not something you do when you're in the mood or when life feels easy. It is a full-time commitment, a relentless pursuit that demands your focus, your energy, and your willpower. The truth is simple. If you want to rise, you must treat your growth like your greatest responsibility. Most people work harder on their jobs than they do on themselves, and that's why their lives never change. They chase promotions, chase validation, chase comfort, but they never chase mastery. You must understand this. The world rewards those who develop themselves, not those who complain about circumstances. Every hour you spend improving your mind, your skills, your discipline, your mindset, that hour is a weapon forged in the fire of your future. The person who dedicates their time to growth eventually becomes unstoppable, because while everyone else wastes time reacting to life, you're building the power to design it. Stop thinking of success as an event. Success is a reflection of preparation, discipline, and constant evolution. You cannot transform your life while staying the same person you were yesterday. Growth requires discomfort. It demands that you face your fears, silence your excuses, and get uncomfortable with your weaknesses. You must become obsessed with improvement. Reading, learning, training, reflecting, and refining. Every single day. Most people underestimate the power of small daily efforts. They want big change but reject small habits. They think improvement should be dramatic, fast, and visible. But real change is quiet. It happens in the hours no one sees, the early mornings, the late nights, the disciplined decisions repeated over time. Every repetition builds resilience. Every lesson builds clarity. Every act of discipline builds destiny. If you only work hard when you feel motivated, you will never go far. The difference between the great and the average is not talent, it's consistency. The great ones treat self-improvement as a duty, not an option. They understand that the mind must be trained just like the body. They feed their brains with books, their spirits with purpose, and their time with progress. They don't waste hours chasing distractions because they know attention is the currency of success. Ask yourself, how much time do you spend improving yourself compared to how much time, spend being entertained? Every minute you give to nonsense is a minute stolen from your greatness. You are either working on your dream or helping someone else build theirs. The truth hurts, but it must be faced. If you want a better life, you must become a better person. You can't fake growth. You can't pretend discipline. You can't talk your way into success. You must earn it through consistent self-improvement. Learn something new every day. Train your focus. Strengthen your habits. Protect your mind from negativity and laziness. Your results will always reveal how seriously you take your personal development. Bro, you have two choices in life: evolve or repeat. Most people repeat. They live the same year 70 times and call it a life. But the few who evolve, the ones who use time like a sword, those are the ones who conquer themselves and change their reality. The moment you decide that self-improvement is your main mission, everything changes. You start seeing time differently. You stop tolerating mediocrity. You become hungry for progress. Avery, don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for someone to believe in you. Start now. Use what you have where you are. Read the books that challenge your thinking. Practice the skills that move your life forward. Keep a journal of your lessons and failures. Every mistake is a stepping stone, every obstacle a teacher. The world belongs to those who keep sharpening themselves, who refuse to remain dull while others rust away in comfort. Yes, it's hard to stay disciplined. Yes, it's exhausting to push when you feel tired. But so what? Growth is supposed to be difficult. That's how you know it's real. Diamonds form under pressure, steel hardens through fire, and character builds through struggle. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when you keep going despite the difficulty. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one will do the work for you. The time you waste waiting for motivation could have been the time why. You used to change your life. The most successful people in history understood one thing clearly. Self-mastery precedes success. You can't lead, inspire, or build until you learn to manage yourself, your habits, your time, your emotions, your focus. Make your life a continuous project of self-construction. Every day, ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I improve today? What weakness did I attack today? The person who asks these questions becomes stronger, sharper, and more aware. The person who ignores them becomes dull, reactive, and lost. The choice is yours. Treat your mind like a muscle. Feed it with ideas. Train it with challenges. Stretch it with knowledge. Protect it from garbage. Do the same with your character. Be someone who keeps their word, who stays humble while growing strong, who stays hungry no matter how much they achieve. The greatest investment you'll ever make is the time you spend on your own evolution. Remember this truth and never forget it. Your future is being shaped by what you do right now. Every decision, every hour, every action adds up. You can waste them or you can use them, but once they're gone forever. Don't spend your life wishing for success. Spend it building yourself until success becomes unavoidable. Self-improvement is not a phase. It's a lifestyle. It's not something you try, it's something you live. The moment you decide to commit to your own excellence, you step into a different league. A league where discipline replaces doubt, where focus replaces fear, and where effort replaces excuses. Hebrew, so stop waiting. The time to improve is not tomorrow. The time is now. Every second counts. Every moment matters. Build yourself so strong, so sharp, so resilient that life has no choice but to reward your effort, because the world bows to those who master themselves. And that mastery begins with how you spend your time. Time is the currency of greatness. It is the only wealth every human is born with, equal in measure, but unequal in how it's spent. Every second is a coin, and how you spend it determines who you become. The great ones understand this truth. Time is not something to kill, waste, or pass. It is something to invest. Those who treat time carelessly will always live in regret, while those who guard it fiercely will shape empires out of their minutes. The average person says, I don't have time. The disciplined person says, I make time. There is the difference between mediocrity and mastery. Greatness doesn't demand you to be the smartest or the luckiest. It demands you to respect time like your life depends on it, because it does. Time is life. Every tick of the clock is your existence slipping through your fingers. You can either shape it with intention or let it evaporate in distraction. Most people spend their lives reacting instead of creating. They move through days without purpose, wasting hours on things that add nothing to their growth. They scroll endlessly, gossip endlessly, complain endlessly, and at the end of it all, They wonder why nothing changes. The answer is simple. They traded their time for nothing. They gave away the most precious asset they have in exchange for comfort, entertainment, or escape. And life gives nothing back to those who waste its currency. If you truly want to rise, you must begin to treat your time as sacred. Guard it like a fortress. Every wasted minute is a lost opportunity to build something better. The person who learns to manage their hours will always outperform the one who manages only their intentions. Everyone says they want success, but few are willing to pay its price, and that price is time. Success requires long hours of study, practice, failure, and patience. It demands consistency long after excitement fades. Ask yourself honestly, how do you spend your time when no one is watching? That answer will predict your destiny. Your results are a reflection of your daily habits, and your habits are built from how you spend your hours. If your time is scattered, your life will be scattered. If your time is focused, your life will be powerful. You cannot build greatness on wasted hours. A. Burwe, you must learn to say no, not because you're arrogant, but because you're focused. Not every invitation deserves your attention. Not every distraction deserves your energy. You owe nothing to laziness, gossip, or drama. Protect your time like a warrior protects his blade, because once it's gone, you cannot sharpen it again. Every day is a battlefield, and your minutes are your ammunition. Spend them on what brings you closer to your purpose, not what pulls you further away. Understand this truth. Time doesn't pause for your excuses. The clock doesn't care if you're tired, scared, or unmotivated. It moves forward, whether you're chasing your goals or not. That's why those who act despite resistance always rise. They know that hesitation costs too much. The moment you waste is the moment someone else uses to get ahead. There we come a day when you look back and wish for more time, to make that change, to start that dream, to chase that goal. But that wish will fall on deaf ears, because time once spent is gone forever. Don't wait for that regret. Act now, build now, move now. The only way to honor time is to use it with intention, urgency, and clarity. The great achievers of history all shared one secret. They were ruthless with their time. They understood that hours are seeds. Plant them in purpose, and they'll yield greatness. Waste them on nonsense, and they'll yield nothing but regret. Every masterpiece, every invention, every empire began with a person who used their time wisely. You don't need more hours in a day, you need more focus in your hours. Eliminate distractions, cut the noise, prioritize growth. If it doesn't serve your purpose, it doesn't deserve your time. The world is full of people who had potential but lost it in distraction. Don't become one of them. You are given 24 hours each day, the same number as the most successful people alive. What separates you is not the quantity of time, but the quality of how you use it. Hebrew, wake up earlier, think deeper, work harder. Use every moment to refine your craft, expand your knowledge, and strengthen your discipline. Even rest should be intentional. Rest to recover, not to escape. You can't reach greatness by being casual with your hours. Treat every day like a deposit into your legacy. Rukul, time is the invisible judge that measures the value of your life. It rewards those who respect it and punishes those who abuse it. If you waste time, time will waste you. But if you invest it, it will multiply your worth beyond imagination. The people you admire didn't get lucky. They simply used their time differently. While others were distracted, they were focused. While others were sleeping, they were creating. While others were complaining, they were building. So decide today what your time will stand for. Each moment is a choice between progress and procrastination. Choose progress even when it's hard. Choose effort even when you feel tired. Choose purpose even when distractions seem easier. One day you'll look back and realize that greatness wasn't built in one giant leap. It was built minute by minute, hour by hour, through the disciplined use of time. Your future is being written right now in how you spend this very moment. Don't let it slip away. Every second is a chance to become sharper, wiser, stronger. Stop saying you don't have time. Start proving that you can command it. because the truth is time is the only currency that truly defines who you are. Spend it on becoming the person you were meant to be. Use your hours like weapons. Use your minutes like gold, because once they're gone, all that's left is what you built with them. Time is the currency of greatness. Spend it like a master. Discipline is the only real freedom. Most people think freedom means doing whatever they want, sleeping when they feel like it, eating what they crave, working only when they're inspired. But that's not freedom, that's slavery. Slavery to emotion, to laziness, to weakness. True freedom is born from control over your thoughts, your habits, and your impulses. Discipline is not a restriction, it is the path to power. Without it, you are a prisoner of your own excuses. The undisciplined person moves through life like a leaf in the wind, blown around by every distraction, every desire, every fleeting emotion. They talk about dreams, but they never get there. They start things, but they never finish. They live in chaos and call it comfort. They mistake temporary pleasure for happiness and wonder why their life never moves forward. Freedom without discipline is destruction. It's the fastest route to regret. Discipline is the gatekeeper between where you are and where you want to be. It's the bridge between intention and accomplishment. Every goal you have, every vision you hold, every success story you admire, all of it stands on the foundation of discipline. Talent might give you a head start, but only discipline keeps you in the race. Motivation fades, emotions change, but discipline stays. It shows up when you don't feel like it. That's why disciplined people win. They act regardless of how they feel. Every time you resist the easy path, you strengthen your will. Every time you choose effort over excuse, you grow. Discipline is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. The more you give in to laziness, the weaker you get. People want results without repetition, growth without grind, rewards without work. But life doesn't operate that way. The universe rewards discipline because it proves you can be trusted with success. Think about it. Discipline is the force that makes a soldier rise before dawn. The artist create after midnight. The athlete train through pain. The entrepreneur persist after failure. It's not motivation that sustains them. It's structure, commitment, and mental toughness. Discipline is the quiet power behind every great achievement in history. It's not loud, it's not glamorous, it's consistent, unbreakable, and patient. Or the weak run from discipline because it feels uncomfortable. But what they don't understand is that the pain of discipline is temporary, while the pain of regret is permanent. Every sacrifice you make for your growth adds up. Every early morning, every focused hour, every no you say to distractions, all of it builds strength. You might not see the results immediately, but time will reveal them. The disciplined person eventually gets what the undisciplined only dreams about. You must learn to master yourself before you can master anything else. Discipline is self-respect. It's saying, I am worth my effort. It's choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. It's building habits that align with your purpose and eliminating the ones that destroy it. Without discipline, success is impossible. Without discipline, potential DI. S, unrealized. A, Brewer. Every time you skip the work, you tell your mind that mediocrity is acceptable. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your confidence. Discipline is built on keeping promises, especially the ones you make to yourself. When you say you'll do something, do it. When you set a standard, live by it. When you decide to grow, don't quit halfway. That's how self-respect is born. That's how confidence grows, from consistency, not comfort. Discipline is also the cure to fear. When you are disciplined, you stop overthinking. You stop doubting. You stop hesitating because you've trained yourself to act. Action kills fear. Routine kills chaos. Focus kills excuses. Discipline gives you control over the only thing that truly matters, you. The world might change, people might betray you, circumstances might shift. But if you are disciplined, you remain unshaken. Discipline doesn't make life smaller, it makes life limitless. The person who is disciplined with their time guy. NS more of it. The one who is disciplined with their money gains wealth. The one who is disciplined with their thoughts gains peace. The one who is disciplined with their habits gains power. Everything great flows from discipline. It is the root of all mastery. When you live with discipline, you don't need to be pushed. You push yourself. You don't wait for the right mood, you create it. You don't rely on others to motivate you, you rely on your own standards. Discipline makes you independent. It breaks the chains of weakness. The more disciplined you become, the freer you are, because you no longer live as a victim of your impulses. So many people talk about wanting freedom, financial freedom, mental freedom, emotional freedom, but they avoid the very thing that creates it, discipline. They want the rewards of a champion, but the habits of a quitter. They want results without routine. That's not how greatness works. Every legend, every achiever, every leader built their freedom through consistent discipline, through doing what needed to be done even when they didn't feel like it. The truth is, discipline doesn't take from you, it gives to you. It gives you clarity, confidence, and control. It gives you pride when you look in the mirror. It gives you the satisfaction of knowing you earned your results. Discipline is not punishment, it's preparation. It's the price you pay for peace of mind. It's the effort that allows you to live on your terms. The real question is not whether you can be disciplined. The question is whether you're willing to demand it from yourself, whether you're ready to silence your excuses and command your focus, whether you're ready to live like the person you were meant to be, not the person comfort has made you. Because here's the truth, discipline will cost you something now, but a lack of it will cost you everything later. You can pay the price of effort today, or you can pay the price of regret tomorrow. Freedom is not found in doing whatever you want. It's found in the strength to do what's necessary. So build the habits, do the work, follow through every single day. Be strict with yourself, not because you hate who you are, but because you love who you can become. The world belongs to the disciplined, the ones who master their minds, command their actions, and conquer their weaknesses. Discipline is not a cage, it's the key. And once you hold that key, no fear, no failure, and no obstacle can ever enslave you again. That is the only real freedom there is. Silence the noise, or the noise will silence you. The world today is louder than ever. Everyone talking, no one thinking, everyone watching, no one acting. Most people live surrounded by distractions, drowning in useless chatter, blinded by the constant flood of opinions, notifications, and comparisons. And in that noise, they lose the most important voice of all, their own. If you want to rise, if you want clarity, focus, and peace of mind, you must learn the art of silence. Because, only in silence can you hear truth. Only in stillness can you find strength. Noise is not just sound. It's confusion, gossip, fear, and mental clutter. It's the opinions of others trying to shape your identity. It's the endless scroll of meaningless content stealing your attention. It's the inner critic whispering lies about your worth. The world feeds on distraction because a distracted mind is a weak mind, but the focused mind, the quiet mind, belongs to the few who take command of their attention. Every second you spend consumed by noise is a second stolen from your purpose. Every moment you give to distraction is a moment you'll never get back. The great achievers of the world are not louder than others. They're quieter. They operate in silence. They move with intention, and they guard their focus like a fortress. They know that progress loves silence. You can't build an empire when you're busy arguing with clowns. You must protect your mental space as fiercely as you protect your Om. Guard your mind against the noise of negativity, comparison, and mediocrity. Not everyone deserves your attention. Not every voice deserves your response. You are not obligated to explain, to prove, or to react. The more time you spend defending yourself, the less time you spend improving yourself. Let your results make the noise. Understand this: success requires solitude. Growth requires focus. Creation requires peace. You cannot hear your intuition in chaos. You cannot design your destiny if your mind is occupied with distractions. That's why so many people stay stuck. They're always reacting to the noise around them instead of creating the sound within them. They chase approval, attention, and validation. But the strongest people walk alone when they need to. They disconnect from the world so they can reconnect with themselves. A silence is not weakness, it's control. When you choose silence, you choose power. You show the world that your focus cannot be stolen and your emotions seized and not be manipulated. You rise above drama, gossip, and competition. You move differently because you're not trying to impress anyone. You're too busy building something real. Noise fades, results remain. E. Brockrew. The greatest minds in history understood the value of isolation. They withdrew from chaos to create clarity. They worked in silence, studied in silence, planned in silence. And then they returned to the world with something so powerful that the world couldn't ignore it. Noise distracts, silence sharpens. In the silence, ideas grow, discipline strengthens, and vision becomes clear. You must ask yourself, how much of your time is consumed by noise that adds no value? How many hours do you waste reacting to nonsense that doesn't change your life? Every scroll, every argument, every distraction weakens your focus. The world has trained you to stay entertained instead of educated, but entertainment won't build your future. Discipline will. Silence is not about doing nothing, it's about doing what matters while blocking out everything that doesn't. Cut the noise. Turn off the screen. Walk away from the people who drain your energy. Focus on your craft. Study the masters. Train your body. Strengthen your mind. Build something that lasts. While others are busy being seen, be busy becoming great. Remember, lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. They stay silent and strike when it's time, when you silence the noise. You gain control of the one thing that determines everything, your focus. And when you control your focus, you control your reality. You begin to see clearly what others cannot. You start to feel peace where others feel pressure. You begin to move with intention while others wander aimlessly. That's the difference between the successful and the distracted. Brockrew, don't mistake silence for inaction. Silence is strategy. It's the space where you plan, prepare, and strengthen. It's where you build in private so you can shine in public. The noisy are often least productive. They talk, they post, they brag, but when it's time to execute, they crumble. The silent ones work. They build, they endure. And when they finally step forward, their results are so powerful that they don't need to explain a thing. Noise is everywhere, on your phone, in your social circle, even in your thoughts. But you have the power to choose silence. You can choose focus over distraction, clarity over confusion, growth over gossip. Every time you ignore the noise, you train your mind to stay centered. Every time you stay calm while others panic, you become stronger. Every time you walk away from meaningless talk and use that time to improve yourself, you rise above the crowd. Silence is the foundation of strength. The more you learn to sit with yourself, the more self-control you develop. And self-control is the essence of power. In silence, you learn patience. In patience, you build endurance. In endurance, you create greatness. You cannot lead others until you've learned to lead your own mind. And you cannot lead your mind until you learn to quiet the noise. You owe it to yourself to create an environment of clarity. Wake up early, meditate, read, reflect. Plan your day before the world tries to steal it from you. The first hour of your day decides the direction of your life. Fill it with silence, purpose, and preparation, not noise and distraction. Protect your mornings. Protect your peace. One day, when your results speak for themselves, people will wonder how you did it. They'll think it happened overnight. But you'll know the truth. It happened in silence. In the hours when no one watched, when no one clapped, when no one believed, you'll realize that the silence that once felt lonely became your greatest weapon. So, stop trying to be everywhere, stop trying to be heard, and stop trying to please. Withdraw from the noise and invest in your focus. The world doesn't need another voice shouting, it needs another mind creating. Be that mind. Be T. He one who silences the noise, listens to the call within, and moves in quiet confidence toward greatness. Because at the end of the day, the world forgets the noise, but it never forgets the one who built in silence and let their success echo for eternity. Hebrew, learn, apply, repeat. That's the formula. That's the cycle that builds masters, not talkers. Everyone says they want success, but very few are willing to study, execute, and repeat until they perfect their craft. Knowledge means nothing until it becomes action. Learning without application is like collecting weapons but never going to war. The world doesn't reward what you know, it rewards what you do with what you know. Most people stop at learning. They read a few books, watch a few videos, attend a seminar, and feel accomplished. But learning alone changes nothing. It's not information that transforms you, it's implementation. You can't think your way to mastery, you must act your way into it. Each lesson you apply becomes part of who you are. Each skill you practice becomes a weapon you can wield. But without repetition, knowledge fades and potential dies. The greatest mistake of the modern world is mistaking consumption for progress. People consume endless information, motivational videos, quotes, courses, but they don't apply any of it. They feed their minds but starve their results. Real growth begins when learning meets action. The power is not in knowing what to do, it's in doing what you know again and again until it becomes instinct. You must develop a relentless hunger to learn, not for entertainment, but for evolution. Study your craft, study success, study failure, study people who have walked the path before you. But don't just absorb, apply. Take that lesson, test it in real life, and adjust. Great achiever follows this rhythm. Learn, apply, repeat. The athlete studies his technique, applies it in practice, and repeats until perfection. The entrepreneur learns a strategy, applies it in business, and repeats until results come. The leader studies human nature, applies it in decision-making, and repeats until mastery. That's the loop of greatness, continuous refinement through consistent action. Don't wait until you know enough. You will never know enough. Learning is infinite. Waiting for perfect knowledge before acting is just fear wearing a disguise. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. You'll learn more by doing once than by thinking 100 times. Experience is the most honest teacher. It exposes your weaknesses and strengthens your understanding. The lessons you live will always outweigh the lessons you read. The secret to progress is not speed, it's repetition with correction. Every time you act, you receive feedback, success or failure, win or less. Son, if you're wise, you'll study that feedback, adjust, and go again. That's how the best get better. They don't stop when they fail. They learn why they failed, fix it, and return sharper. The cycle never ends. The weak look for comfort. The strong look for correction. In this world, information is everywhere, but discipline to apply it is rare. That's why the few who take consistent action rise above the masses who only consume. You don't need to know everything. You need to master something. Learn deeply, not widely. Apply with focus, not confusion. Repetition is not boring, it's powerful. Every repetition cuts deeper into your potential, carving mastery into your mind and body. Understand this, success is not built in big leaps, it's built in small cycles. Learn, apply, repeat. Every time you repeat that cycle, you grow. Every time you apply what you've learned, you move closer to mastery. The ones who quit are those who get tired of repeating, but the ones who persist, who keep leer. Keep testing, keep adjusting, they become unstoppable. Failure is not the end, it's feedback. Every failure teaches you how to move better next time. Most people quit right before understanding the lesson. They take failure personally instead of intelligently. Don't do that. When you fail, don't cry. Analyze. Don't retreat, refocus. The faster you learn from failure, the faster you rise. The greatest teacher is not success, it's failure properly studied. If you want to stand out, outlearn and out-apply everyone around you, the more you learn, the more capable you become. The more you apply, the more powerful you grow. The more you repeat, the more automatic success becomes. Mastery is repetition without resistance. When you no longer need motivation to act, when learning and applying become part of your nature, you've reached a level few ever touch. Hey, Brewy, stop jumping from one idea to another. Stop collecting inspiration like trophies. Pick one thing, study it, apply it, refine it, master it. Then move to the next. Focus creates power. Scattered learning creates confusion. 1,000 half-finished efforts will never equal one thing mastered through repetition. Be the person who doesn't just know, but does consistently, precisely, relentlessly. The reason many people stay stuck is that they never apply what they know long enough to see results. They quit in the middle of the cycle, just before mastery begins. Don't fall into that trap. Be patient. Greatness grows in the soil of repetition. Every day you repeat the process, you're strengthening your roots. The stronger your roots, the higher you'll rise. Brew, the formula will never fail you. Learn, apply, repeat. You don't need luck. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. Consistency compounds faster than talent. You don't get better by wishing. You get better by doing, correcting, and doing again. The process may be hard, but the reward is freedom. Freedom to perform, freedom to succeed, freedom to become unshakable in your skill and confidence. Hebrew. So, every day, dedicate time to learning, but don't stop there. Put that knowledge into action immediately. Test it, fail, improve, repeat. Keep the cycle alive until progress becomes a habit and success becomes inevitable. That's the secret the great ones understand. Because at the end of the day, greatness is not given. It's built through the simple, disciplined repetition of learning, applying, and repeating. That's the grind that shapes champions, the rhythm that turns potential into power. Learn relentlessly, apply fearlessly, repeat endlessly, and watch as your results speak louder than any words ever could. Surround yourself with progress, not comfort, because comfort kills more dreams than failure ever could. The people around you will either sharpen your edge or dull your fire. You can't grow in an environment built for staying the same. If you spend your time with those who avoid challenge, you'll inherit their limits. But when you surround yourself with people chasing greatness, your own potential begins to expand. Progress is contagious, but so is complacency. Choose your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. Comfort feels good, but it costs you everything. It whispers that you're doing fine, that you've done enough, that you deserve to rest when you haven't earned it yet. It's a slow poison wrapped in pleasure. The moment you start believing you've arrived, you stop moving forward. Comfort makes you forget how hungry you once were. It replaces your ambition with excuses. The truth is, success dies the day comfort wins. Progress, on the other hand, demands discomfort. It asks you to stretch beyond what's familiar, to embrace challenge, to step into uncertainty. It doesn't care about how you feel. It cares about what you're becoming. Every person who has ever achieved greatness lived in the space where most people refuse to go, outside their comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen in easy conditions. It happens when your back is against the wall, when you're tired but keep going, when quitting feels easier but you don't. Look at your circle right now. Who are you surrounded by? Do they challenge you to be better, or do they make excuses with you? Do they hold you accountable or enable your laziness? Do they talk about goals or gossip? You become like the people you spend the most time with. Their standards become yours. Their habits become yours. Their mindset infects yours. That's why you must guard your environment like your purpose depends on it, because it does. The average mindset kills extraordinary potential. When you hang around people who settle, you start to think settling is normal. They'll tell you to take it easy, to relax, to not overdo it. But they're not protecting you. They're projecting their fear. They're afraid of what your growth will reveal about their stagnation. People who are afraid to evolve will always try to keep you comfortable, because your progress exposes their lack of it. Don't let their comfort become your cage. Progressive people think differently. They don't make excuses. They make adjustments. They don't waste time. They invest it. They don't complain. They create solutions. They don't envy. They study and apply. When you surround yourself with people like that, your mindset shifts. You start seeing possibilities where others see problems. You start expecting more from yourself. Progress-minded people will not let you stay small. They'll challenge you, push you, sometimes even frustrate you, but that's exactly what you need. Abra growth requires friction. You can't sharpen a blade without resistance. Likewise, you can't sharpen your character without being challenged. The best people in your life won't always agree with you, but they'll always push you toward your best. They'll remind you of your potential when you forget it. They'll hold you accountable when you slack off. They'll demand effort when you try to take the easy way out. That's what True support looks like. It doesn't comfort your weakness, it strengthens your discipline. Comfort-based relationships are easy, but they're dangerous. They revolve around validation, not evolution. They keep you stagnant because no one's willing to call out mediocrity. Everyone just agrees, nods, and avoids discomfort. But nothing grows there. Growth is born in tension, in truth, in challenge, in accountability. If you only seek people who make you feel good, you'll never meet people who make you great. You need to be around people who make you uncomfortable, not because they disrespect you, but because they demand more from you. They see a version of you that's bigger than who you are today, and they refuse to let you stay small. They push your limits, challenge your excuses, and stretch your potential. It's not always pleasant, but it's always worth it. If you want to grow, seek out progress-driven environments. Go where people talk about ideas, not people. Go where success is expected, not envied. Go where standards are high and mediocrity isn't tolerated. Go where people celebrate discipline, not just dreams, because in the right environment, you evolve faster. The energy of ambition fuels your fire, and the sight of others succeeding reminds you that you can too. The truth is, your circle defines your ceiling. You can't fly if everyone around you is crawling. You can't stay hungry if everyone around you is full. You can't keep your fire burning if everyone around you prefers the dark. If you want more, surround yourself with people who demand more from themselves and from you. Their drive will elevate you. Their mindset will reshape yours. And don't just seek progress externally. Be the kind of person who brings progress into every room. Be the one who inspires others to level up. Be the example that shows what discipline, hunger, and self-belief look like in action. The energy you carry will either lift others or drag them down. Make sure yours lifts. Abra comfort is SA. Productive because it asks nothing from you. Progress is demanding because it asks for everything. But only one leads to greatness. Every day you're making a choice. Stay where you are or step into who you could become. Every moment you choose progress, you expand. Every time you choose comfort, you shrink. Abra. So look around. Audit your environment. Are you surrounded by growth, or are you surrounded by excuses? Are you feeding your future or your fears? The answer will determine your destiny. Because at the end of the day, success isn't just about what you do, it's about who you're with. Surround yourself with progress, and you'll never stop growing. Surround yourself with comfort, and you'll slowly forget who you were meant to be. Progress is uncomfortable, but it's the only path worth walking. Choose it every single day, and surround yourself with those who choose it too. Failure is the furnace of growth, the fire that burns away weakness, pride, and illusion, leaving only truth and strength. GTH behind. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has walked through flames. No one escapes the heat. You cannot rise without falling. You cannot evolve without pain. Failure is not the end, it is the process. It is the testing ground where your character is forged, your resolve is hardened, and your hunger is purified. Those who run from failure remain fragile. Those who embrace it become unbreakable. Most people fear failure because they mistake it for finality. They see it as a verdict, not a lesson. But failure doesn't define you, it refines you. It reveals your weaknesses so you can turn them into weapons. Every setback carries a message, but only the disciplined mind can hear it. Those who quit after failure never learn what it was trying to teach them. Those who stay, analyze, and adapt, those are the ones who rise above everyone else. Ibrahim, when you fail, you meet your true self. The mask drops, the ego shatters, the illusions fall away. You see exactly how much strength, disciple, yaini, and belief you truly have. That's why failure hurts. It exposes your raw truth. But that pain is necessary. You can't build endurance without resistance. You can't build power without pressure. The furnace of failure doesn't destroy you unless you quit. It tempers you, makes you stronger, sharper, and more focused. Think of every great mind, every empire builder, every innovator. They all failed, often and brutally. The difference was they didn't let failure stop them. They used it as fuel. They looked at every defeat as data, every mistake as a stepping stone. They weren't immune to pain, they just decided to make pain productive. That's what separates the average from the exceptional. Not the absence of failure, but the mastery of it. You can't fake strength, you have to forge it. And forging requires fire. Every failure you face is a forge in disguise. It's where you melt down your old self and rebuild with better metal. It's where excuses are burned away and real effort is born. The more you face failure, the more you learn that it's not something to avoid, it's something to use. You begin to see the pattern, struggle, learn, improve, repeat. That cycle is the heartbeat of growth. But most people can't handle the heat. They crumble at the first sign of discomfort. They want success without suffering, results without repetition, mastery without mistakes. They forget that diamonds are made under pressure, that gold is purified by fire. The reason they stay ordinary is because they never let themselves be tested. The furnace terrifies them, so they stay cold and unshaped. You have to train yourself to see failure differently. Every time you fall short, ask, what is this teaching me? What weakness did this expose? What skill must I sharpen next? When you start treating failure like a mentor, not an enemy, everything changes. You no longer take it personally. You take it professionally. You extract lessons, apply them, and move forward with more precision. That's Ho. You evolve faster than those who fear the process. Ibrui. The furnace of failure builds mental armor. It teaches you patience, humility, and persistence. It shows you that effort matters more than outcome, because outcomes can be unpredictable, but effort is always in your control. It shows you that pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Every great achievement is born from scars, and those scars are proof that you were willing to fight for growth. Failure also destroys your illusions of perfection. You realize you'll never have everything figured out, and that's liberating. It allows you to experiment, to adapt, to keep moving without fear of embarrassment or judgment. Most people are so afraid of failing that they never start. But failure is the price of freedom, the freedom to grow, to improve, to rise above your limitations. When you embrace failure, you take control of your story. You stop letting outcomes define your identity. You realize that falling is not the opposite of lying. It's the path to it. The ground is not your enemy, it's your reminder that you're still in motion. Every failure is a new draft of your success story, written in effort, sweat, and lessons learned. And remember this, the furnace is not meant to be comfortable. Growth never is. You'll doubt yourself. You'll question your worth. You'll wonder if it's even worth it. That's the heat talking. Stay inside it. Let it mold you. Because when you walk out of that furnace, you'll be stronger, clearer, and ready for battles you couldn't have handled before. The ones who avoid failure stay safe, but safe is small. Safe never changes the world. Safe never inspires. Safe never grows. Those who step into the furnace, the entrepreneurs, the dreamers, the creators, the warriors, they carry the marks of the fire, but they also carry wisdom, resilience, and vision. They've learned that comfort breeds weakness, but failure breeds evolution. You must decide who you want to be, the one who avoids the fire, or the one who's forged by it. One hides from pain and stays average. The other embraces pain and becomes unstoppable. You cannot have both comfort and growth. You cannot have greatness without scars. You cannot have mastery without mistakes. So when failure finds you, and it will, don't retreat. Step into the fire. Study the lesson. Rebuild smarter, faster, tougher. Let every burn strengthen your resolve. Let every loss harden your focus. The furnace isn't there to destroy you. It's there to prepare you. Because when you rise from the ashes, refined and unbreakable, you'll understand the truth that only the great ever discover. Failure wasn't your enemy. It was your greatest teacher. It was the furnace that made you unstoppable. The future belongs to the focused, not the distracted, not the comfortable, not the ones chasing everything and mastering nothing. Focus is the ultimate power in a world built to steal your attention. Every notification, every temptation, every pointless distra. Xion is a thief, and it's after the same thing, your future. The people who learn to protect their focus will own tomorrow. The ones who scatter it will fade into noise. Because in this age, success doesn't belong to the busiest. It belongs to the most focused. Focus is the ability to say no to 1,000 things so you can say yes to the one that matters. It's the discipline to keep your eyes locked on your purpose while the world tries to pull you in every direction. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. Most people confuse movement with progress. They think activity means achievement. But without direction, movement is just chaos. Focus gives your energy a target, and that's what turns effort into power. Every person has the same 24 hours, but the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is how they direct them. The average person spreads their time thin, chasing everything that glitters. The focused person goes deep. They maste. Or one skill, one mission, one path until it yields results. While others are distracted by noise, they're building silently. Focus is the reason some people achieve in 10 years what others can't in a lifetime. Distraction is the modern enemy of greatness. It hides behind entertainment, convenience, and fake urgency. It makes you feel busy but leaves you empty. The world doesn't want you focused. It wants you addicted. Addicted to screens, comfort, opinions, and validation. Because a focused mind is powerful and a distracted one is controllable. The system thrives when you drift, but it trembles when you concentrate. The moment you choose focus, you reclaim control over your life. Ibraqui focus requires isolation. It means saying goodbye to comfort, to noise, to people who drain your drive. It means cutting out the unnecessary so the essential can breathe. Most people can't handle that level of discipline. They crave stimulation. They need to be entertained. But greatness demands silence. It grows in solitude, where your thoughts can sharpen and your purpose can speak. You cannot hear your calling if your mind is crowded. Hebrew. The truth is, lack of focus is self-sabotage disguised as multitasking. You tell yourself you're doing many things at once, but you're actually giving half effort to everything and mastery to nothing. The mind wasn't built for divided attention. It was built for deep attention. When you focus deeply, time bends. You accomplish in hours what takes others days. You enter a state where the world fades away and only your mission remains. That is the zone of greatness, and only focus can take you there. Hebrew. You can't build an empire with a distracted mind. Every great achievement, every invention, every movement, every masterpiece was born from intense concentration. The world's game changers didn't stumble upon success. They locked in, day after day, year after year, ignoring the noise until the world had no choice but to notice. They were not lucky. They focused. Hebrew. Ask yourself how much of your life has been stolen by distraction. How many dreams have been delayed because you couldn't stay locked in long enough? How many goals have you abandoned because you got bored, tired, or tempted by something easier? Every time you lose focus, you lose progress. Every time you chase something shiny, you move further from your purpose. Success requires obsession, the kind of laser focus that makes the world disappear until the mission is done. Focus is not natural. It must be trained. It begins with awareness, noticing when your attention drifts and pulling it back again and again. It grows with discipline, setting boundaries, controlling your environment, and mastering your time. You train it by doing deep, hard work when you don't feel like it. You sharpen it by choosing priorities and letting everything else fall away. The more you practice focus, the stronger it becomes. The future doesn't belong to those who dabble in everything. It belongs to those who go all in on one thing, those who have a clear target and the willpower to stay locked on it while everyone else gets lost in distractions. The dreamers will talk, the wanderers will drift, the focused will dominate. Because results are not a product of talent, they are a product of attention. You must decide what deserves your focus and then give it everything. Protect your attention like it's gold, because it is. Eliminate distractions ruthlessly. Delete what drains you. Distance yourself from people who scatter your energy. Focus is not just a habit, it's a lifestyle. It's how you show the universe that you're serious about your goals. When you give full attention to your purpose, life responds with opportunities. Most people want success, but they want to keep their distractions too. They want the results of focus without the sacrifice it demands. But focus demands solitude. It demands discipline. It demands saying no far more than you say yes. You can't have deep results with shallow effort. You can't reach mastery if you can't stay locked in long enough to endure the process. The future belongs to those who can resist distraction, maintain direction, and execute with precision. The world is drowning in noise. The loudest won't win, the most focused will. The ones who can tune out the chaos, block the noise, and move steadily toward their vision day after day, no matter what. You must learn to give your energy only to what moves you forward. Every distraction you defeat is a step toward destiny. Every moment you stay locked in builds the momentum that separates you from the crowd. Because in the end, it's not luck, talent, or timing that creates greatness. It's focus, pure and unbroken. The future doesn't wait for the distracted. It rewards the disciplined. The focused will build what others only dream of. The focused will win while the distracted watch. So lock in. Cut the noise. Keep your vision in sight and your energy on purpose. Because the truth is simple, the future belongs to the focused, and only the focused will own it.